Everywhere you go, especially if you're a Bimbler, you find listed buildings. All the big posh houses, and the old cottages, and the ancient churches. Hundreds of them everywhere. Just like this, Widnes train station, grade 2 listed. But what about the strange stuff? The little stuff? The objet d'art? The curiously listed? Well, Widnes and Runcorn has loads of them. Let's bimble.
Are you listening? You still won't figure it out. Figure it.
This is St Luke's Church here in Farnworth in Widnes. It's 12th century with a 14th century tower, and of course it's grade 2 listed, special interest. But hiding around the back is something a little bit more curious. You might think it's a garage or a shed for the church, but it's actually a bride well. What's a bride well? Well, if you would have come out of the ringer bells a bit worse for wear, you might have been locked up in there overnight to sleep it off. It was sort of like a police cell, but from before Sir Robert Peel invented the police. It would have been used from 1580 up until 1866, when they built the police station and the courthouse here in Widnes. Is that strange enough for you? No? Well, let's bimble.
You still won't figure it out. Figure it. With a simple frame of mind and a little time, you can protest all you like. We both know, with goodwill on your side and a little time, have just what you like.
If you want to talk about weird listed structures, I think a sewer vent is right up there with the best of them. It would have been one of 7 built around Mill Brow in Widnes in and around the 1890s. The sewer would have took effluent from a chemical works and no doubt dumped it into the River Mersey. It's 9 metres tall to keep the noxious fumes out of the general public's noses, and they needed a vent in case the sewers exploded. Yucky stuff, but grade 2 listed. Let's bimble.
Easy, just try. Better off this time. Have it your own way if you like. Things could be easy, just try. I know you heard every word, every line, but you're missing it. Why won't you figure it out?
They do list more normal things. It's not just sewer vents and old prisons. Some things are quite important or poignant. Here in Victoria Park in Widnes, you have the Widnes War Memorial. In 1920, it was decided they needed a war memorial to remember all the men from Widnes that died in the First World War. They had a competition to design the war memorial, and that was won by a Harold E. Davis. All the sculpting was done by a lad from Liverpool called Herbert Tyson Smith. He did a lot of these war memorials, from Bootle to Fleetwood to Strathclyde. It was all paid for by public donations, and they thought they needed £10,000. But they only raised 7,830. But luckily, it only cost 6,000, so there was actually money left over, which apparently they gave to the poor. The blood of heroes is the seed of freedom.
I talk really loud, if you heard, oh it's deafening. You still won't figure it out. Figure it time. You can protest all you like. We both know, with goodwill on your side, and a little time, you can have just what you like. We both know it's easy if you just try. Better off this time. Have it your own way if you like.
Another curiously listed building here in Widnes is the Mersey Lock here at Spike Island. This is how you would get your boat from the River Mersey into the canal, the Sankey Canal, the first canal of the industrial era, lest we forget. There's a 12-foot difference between the River Mersey at high tide and where the Sankey Canal should be, so you need a lock. And they built one in 1833. But it didn't just get you from the River Mersey into the canal, it would have got you from the River Mersey onto the railways. It was the world's first sea-to-rail dock. It meant that you could load your cargo onto one of them newfangled trains. Let's bimble. Obviously St Mary's Church here in West Bank, that's listed. It was designed by Austin and Paley, that's Hubert Austin and Henry Paley. Henry Paley being the son of Edward Graham Paley, you know how much I like him. But there's something curiously listed separately from the church, just outside of it, looking out onto the street, the wayside pulpit. You could take your preaching out to the people. In fact, it's inscribed on the sandstone. Go out into the highways and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. They'd hear all about that chap that walked on water. But we can't do that. We're going to have to take the Silver Jubilee Bridge over to Runcorn. It's grade 2 listed, you know. Let's bimble.
Both know easy if you just try. Better off this time. Have it your own way if you like. Easy if you just try. Easy if you just try. Better off this time. Have it your own way if you like. Easy if you just try.
Runcorn has its own old listed lock, only this one is slightly less functional. It used to take the Bridgewater Canal into the River Mersey, but as of the 1890s it took the Bridgewater Canal into the Manchester Ship Canal. It does neither these days. There's no canal at the other side of the lock, although there are plans to reopen it. That would link the Bridgewater Canal to the Manchester Ship Canal and then to the Weaver Navigation, forming a sort of Cheshire loop. Sounds very pleasant. It's just around the corner from another listed building called Bridgewater House. That's where Francis Egerton, the Duke of Bridgewater, he lived there while he was keeping an eye on James Brindley while he was digging his canal. Fascinating. Loads of fascinating stuff here in Runcorn though. Let's bimble.
To make. Aim for the stars, it's yours, just wait.
Back in the centre of Runcorn Old Town, right by All Saints Church, which is grade 2 listed by the way, you'll find this curious electrical substation. But it hasn't always been an electrical substation. It was built in 1833 as a place to park your hearse whilst you were being buried in All Saints Church. There would have been horse-drawn hearses back then, none of your Rolls Royces. But when they switched over to the motorised kind, they didn't need this anymore. These hearse houses are quite rare these days, hence it being listed. And so we reach our final portage, Bimblers. We visited a prison, a sewer vent, a war memorial, a couple of locks, an outside pulpit, and a place to park your hearse. And now we're visiting some railings and some lampposts. You see, St Paul's Health Centre hasn't always been a health centre. It used to be St Paul's Methodist Church. It was built in 1866 and it was a very grand Italianate church. You could fit 1,323 people in there of a Sunday. It was all paid for by a Thomas Hazelhurst. He was born in Winwick in Warrington and he made all of his money making soap. Big business in Widnes, Runcorn and Warrington. He actually paid for 12 Methodist churches to be built in and around Runcorn. And St Paul's Methodist Church cost £8,000 to build, which if we adjust for inflation is about £800,000. In 1969, just over 100 years after it was built, in some fit of madness, Runcorn Council demolished it and they replaced it with the ornate St Paul's Health Centre. But the railings and the lampposts remain curiously listed.